I made a post about this on Tumblr, but I just kind of have it on record because it's so wet outside. It's kind of a big deal. I mean, it is for me. Also, kind of like trying to avoid a religious lecture when she comes back. Because, yeah, just with the way she was with dogs when Unknown almost died. Really don't need a repeat performance. I find myself needing to apologize. The past few days, the days following where Unknown was telling us about, Showtime's latest murder, I was twitchy and kind of panicky, and whenever somebody would try to, calm me down and comfort me, I was kind of just, no, it's not okay, this is my fault, blah, blah, blah. Everybody just needs to leave me alone and let me deal with this. And that wasn't fair of me at all. I made a mistake. Okay, I know this. I took Rose's protection for granted. In a move that was meant to display a lack of fear, I showed arrogance, and it came and bit me in the ass. The girl died, and she wasn't just killed. She was tortured. I used to be a ballet dancer. I danced for 3 years, and even now I still love to dance, even if it's just in my bedroom. But I know the kind of hard work that goes into ballet. The sore muscles and the blisters on her feet and stuff. If she'd lived, all of that would have been for nothing because she wouldn't have been able to use her legs again. And I know he did that on purpose. I know that he took her legs because anyway, I thought that if I kept people away, if I made myself deal with this problem by myself, that would be my own personal form of punishment and comeuppance for my stupidity. I was scared. I visibly blanched in the chat at the threat that had been thrown my way. I spent the rest of the night clawing and scratching at my own legs. They wouldn't stop itching because I couldn't make myself stop imagining how it must have felt. I mean, I still have kind of nightmares about it. About the tangible hell that this girl had been put through because I couldn't keep my big mouth shut. It just felt, all of this happened because I had this absurd need to feel stronger than I was. So I pushed my wishes away because this is my fault. I'd done this, so why should my friends, the people I cared about most, why should they put themselves in harm's way to protect me? That was a very selfish move, and I am very sorry. Showtime may have gone out of his way to make sure that somehow, somewhere, a girl suffered from my arrogance. He wanted to make sure that I knew what I'd done. Because if that wasn't for my attention, then he wouldn't have found a girl with the same name, who had the same apartment layout as mine, who was also a dancer. But despite all this, I completely disregarded the fact that Showtime is not just my problem. He may be doing this one at a time, individually, finding out our fears and tics and information about us to, scare the crap out of us. But eventually he's gonna come for all of us. He's not just one person's problem. And my acting as such is disrespectful to those who are just as far in as I am. And incidentally, despite him doing this one at a time, I feel the best way to come up to this threat is to do it as a group. Not just, people brought together by fate or chance, but, as a bunch of friends who evenly distribute the weight of a problem to better carry it. And, like most of our problems, I feel that's probably the best way to do it. And, even if it doesn't take him out in one fell swoop, it'll hit way more effectively than, say, one overly passionate redhead who was quick to feel sorry for herself instead of welcoming the comfort and support of the friends around her. To Chewy and Izzy, thanks for talking some sense in my head. To Devin, I don't know you very well. You don't know me, and I'm not entirely convinced that you like the butterflies as a whole, but, you said it a little bluntly, which, coming from some other person, might be taken off as rude, but being a master of blunt myself, I'm just gonna say that's probably just your attitude, but, you were right. I need to get over this. To Blue, I love you. Okay, you're my waifu, like 11 times over, and I am deeply sorry that I was so stubborn and pig-headed. And if and when Showtime decides to show his face, to start the show, I am overly thankful to know that I will be surrounded by friends.